We're always being pulled on. We're always being influenced, either by truth or by the illusions that we entertain in the absence of an awareness of what truth is. None of us are playing with illusions. None of us are playing with nothing, accomplishing nothing, going nowhere purposely. The people the most stagnated are the people the most busy with their illusionary worlds and their illusionary agendas, taking them to their illusionary destinations. Our appetite has vastly changed. It's nothing like our original design. Remember, we talked about not becoming our better self, not becoming the best version of you, not being better than you were yesterday, not only being in competition with the illusionary versions of you that you've carried in the past. None of that. We are on course. We are on path. We are on a journey, a passage, the only way, returning back to original form, returning back to our original design, our original state. Peace, prosperity, the Garden of Eden. It wasn't a story about two people who were cast out of a beautiful place of tranquility by conditional, unconditional loving God. It was a picture of what has been extended to you and I, what it is that you and I have squandered, what we've misused, what we've misunderstood, mismanaged. The garden that you were given to tend and care for, that was to provide you life, you have utilized this same gift to your detriment because you didn't know that anything that you gave your attention to would grow in your garden. You've given your attention to many negative things. You've become a negative tuned person, oftentimes only speaking when something is off to you. Out of our fascination with this world, we have fashioned ourselves after this world, and we no longer resemble where we come from. And that's the only issue you, I, or anyone has. We have been programmed, we have been brainwashed, we have been indoctrinated with a lie. And the lie causes us all turmoil and wreaks havoc in our day-to-day experience on the physical plane. And we were offered an experience on the physical plane of pure peace in all conditions. There is a substance inside of you that allows for you to be content in whatever situation you find yourself in, because you know that whatever situation you find yourself in began within you. And you're only in it so that you can become aware of the inner dialogue that is knocking you off course on the passage and returning to your original form, which is love, peace, abundance, happiness that's not connected with another person being beside you or never leaving or having said the right words in the right tone to you or the right opportunity having called your phone. You do God just like you do your friends. You give them the bare minimum, and you want blessings to just come raining down out of the windows of heaven. You don't even be wanting to take your friend's phone call, but the minute that you get in something and you are in a bind and you need a hand, you're dialing out. And because we move with a lack of commitment and with an absence of an awareness of the love that we are to extend to everyone we meet and encounter, we attract people who live with that same self-centered nature, and we think that that is the way the whole world is. But we don't stop there. We don't stop with the projection of ourself on other people. We project our propensities and our tendencies onto the source that we say created us. The source that created us in his image and likeness, we assume to be in our image and likeness out of an ignorance of the nature that we share. Make other people come to you. Use bait as necessary. What is bait? Is bait not something that we use to trick fish to thinking that they have a meal as they become one? You've been extending bait your whole life. You've been meeting people, finding them in hardships, trying to figure out a way on the inside of you through the partnership with the legion of voices that you operate with, in partnership with your ego. And then you set out to solve these problems for these people. You exhaust yourself on their behalf. And it's not really on their behalf. It's on your own behalf as you crave their acceptance and approval, and you want them to need you, esteem you, applaud you, celebrate you, say that you're things to them that nobody else has been or can be. That weird appetite that we were talking about, it pops up all over the place. We want people to be our peace, as if the peace that surpasses all understanding was not programmed inside of us as an inheritance freely to accompany our design. You want a companion because you're ignorant to the fact that you're never alone, and you were given one that walks closer than a friend or a brother ever could. Every time you have pretended to be a person of value, a person of upworthy character and stature and status, so that someone would partner with you, so that they would bring their benefits and resources to the picture of yours, that was you releasing bait. And I just want to ask you, when are you going to get tired of throwing bait out, getting full for a second, and then getting hungry again and having to go and find more bait and go and find more fish? It's an endless process. It's an endless cycle. You're going nowhere. You always find in the end that people are just like you, exactly who they said they were not, because they're your reflection. And the universal teacher, your source, is trying to show you, not the you that you be explaining, not the you that you think is in operation, you, in reality, in fact. For you to go around promoting the idea that you're a good friend, good partner, good companion for anybody and everybody to be partnered with, you're the best friend that anybody could have, it's kind of insane. Because you spend the majority of your time concerned with your problems, your issues, how you're going to solve them, looking for solutions to your individual situation, and trying to elevate your individual status. So in the middle of all of that, when do you have time left to be concerned with anybody or anything else? You have children that you don't extend yourself to in love. Strange cravings lead to unorthodox methods and yield unnatural returns, and we suffer through the whole miscreation process, including harvest. The unnatural appetite alone causes us to feel ways that are not intended for God's creations to ever feel. You feel like you have not. You feel like you lack. You feel like you're left out. You feel like you're not provided for. All of these are lies. And these lies stem from you believing that there is value in the evil that you have misidentified as good. You think that there is good in the very things that lack the presence of goodness. These things are illusionary, but when you operate from your ego, which is illusionary, you crave things that are illusionary. So when you're thinking from an illusionary position and you're looking at something that's illusionary, you don't see illusionary, you see something of the same nature that you are under the impression of is reality. We done already talked about it. We've already seen it. You want strange things. I want strange things. partnership with strange ideas has developed a strange appetite that causes us to do strange things, strange ways to accomplish the strange destinations we be trying to reach. You suffer in the process of trying to get it. You suffer when you get it and realize it's not what you thought it would be. And you suffer when you begin to recreate the entire process from the beginning all over again. We all know ignorant brothers and sisters, almost illiterate brothers and sisters, that operate in accordance with Law 8 and don't even know anything about the existence of a book called 48 Laws of Power. Because it's really, really simple, really, really low level, really, really effortless to live at this level. If a person is genuinely a nice person, how much effort do they have to put into acting nice? If a person is genuinely pleasant on the eye, genuinely beautiful, genuinely pretty, how much work and effort do they have to put in to look good? Either you look good or you don't. Either you look good or you're decorated. Either you look good or your costume's nice. And if we're going to come to the analysis that you look good, it's because no matter what you wear, no matter what time it is, when we look over at you, we see something pleasant. Sidebar though, if you didn't carry so many hideous memories and you didn't recite and rehearse so many ugly theories and paradigms, your face wouldn't be looking like it'd be looking. You wouldn't look how you'd be looking. You'd smile a little more. You'd be pleasant. You'd glow. You don't need the skin routine. You need the truth in your heart. Resonating, connecting, being realized from the inside out. Things and people that actually carry real value do not walk around trying to figure out how to present themselves as more valuable than they really are. They tap into their value. They extend their value genuinely to others in a way that is beneficial to the collective that they live amongst and are a part of. When you genuinely look good, when you genuinely feel good about yourself, you look in the mirror and you're satisfied with how you look, and you don't leave the house seeking compliments and for somebody to tell you that you look nice to help put you back together from this insecure idea that you're insufficient or undesirable. Like, come on, man, we gotta tighten up. The ego is served, and the illusion of its existence is enhanced with each stroke of admiration that it garnishes from you and from others. When people depend on you, the ego is delighted, but the spirit becomes burdened. Anytime you partner with a lie, your ego is magnified. Anytime you partner with truth, your ego is minimized. Anytime you partner with truth, your spirit resonates with the truth that it knows to be true. Anytime you partner with a lie, your spirit becomes disturbed as it knows what you have partnered with is yet another illusion that will pass, another attachment that will lead you in a circle away from self, away from source, away from satisfaction, away from peace. I don't know if you've ever taken the time to think about it, but your ego is a dependent. Your ego cannot operate on its own by its own power. Your belief and your attention to your ego, your partnership with your ego, is what your ego depends on. Your ego is dependent on you. You are the life source that drives the greatest illusion, that drives you into the greatest turmoil that you have ever experienced in your life. It's you. You fuel the car that takes you to the destination that you complain about. You bought the boarding ticket. You got on the plane. You went through customs. You. The trip is yours. The garden is yours. The result is yours. The idea was yours. All of the things that you've experienced and you've blamed other people for, it belongs to you. And as soon as you sit with the mangled creations that you have weaved together in the dark, the sooner you do that, the sooner you'll be willing to stop building in the dark, because you will have lost this erroneous idea that you'll ever be able to weave something in the dark of actual value. In the darkness, you feel unseen. In the darkness, you feel undesired, uninvited, unattractive. Our greatest tool in solving these self-imposed dilemmas is our ego. We partner with lies, and then we go and consult a liar looking to find a truthful solution and be liberated from a captor that we have identified as one other than ourselves. You have been brutally persecuted by the one who you think you are. Brutally persecuted, jailed, imprisoned, confined, tortured by the one you run to every time you get in trouble. Your ego takes you to trouble, and you run to your ego to get out of trouble, which leads you to more trouble, and then you partner with these stupid cliches of our society, like when it rains, it pours. No, when you make one bad decision and you don't learn and realize the error of your ways and the truth of the matter and the universal principles that are irrevocable in every situation that you find yourself in, you will recreate the bad decision and get the same outcome over and over again until you understand. If I can get you to become dependent on who you think I am, the very thing that I know to be untrue and unreal begins to feel a little more realistic. And you and I are not aware how far we have been willing to go chasing feelings. You get a feeling and you are willing to do catastrophic things if it's the right feeling. You are willing to do what others identify as idiotic things. And you say you felt love. Sporadic, dangerous, illegal things. And you say you were angry, upset, desperate. You say you love the people that are around you, but I say you love the way they make you feel. I say you need them to continue to make you feel the way you feel because you don't know how to make yourself feel it. When the person that's beside you tells you that you're a great person and they want to be with you forever and nobody could ever take your place, you feel that irreplaceable, non-exchangeable value and worth being put on you. But I ask you, do you know how to extend that to yourself? Are you irreplaceable to yourself? Or are you still out here replacing the companionship and the relationship with yourself with another person and being temporarily convinced at your own will that you cannot live without them until you're forced to? You want somebody else to want you and love you, and you don't even want or love yourself. How is it that you have the idea that somebody else is going to want to dedicate their time and attention to you when you are with you every single day and you don't give your time or attention to yourself? Maybe you're not interested, or maybe you're looking at yourself in a flawed way and it's causing you to turn your head the opposite direction and look for a distraction because the way you've been taught to look at yourself hurts. So check this out. If I can present myself in a way that I imagine will get me attention and compliments from you, and it works, I identify the ego as resourceful, actually my savior. All the chatter about being accepted and what others will like rose from the legion of voices. When I say the legion of voices, I'm referring to the collection of past experiences that lived within you that have been harbored instead of forgiven, that now haunt you and speak ill, horrific things all the time. Give you scenarios of ways that you can fail. before you ever get started. Convince you that people are not for you before you ever engage in a conversation. Get you locked inside of an idea that you are by yourself, alone, separated, isolated, and must develop the skills to survive and fend for yourself. Stop listening to them voices. You were supposed to forgive those experiences. You were supposed to cast those experiences in the sea of forgetfulness and move forward in the present moment where those experiences no longer exist. Get off of that. Oh, get off of that. You do understand that the ego craves to have its own riches and luxuries, not to merely enjoy them. Nah, it's not that simple. But to extend them to their inner circle, pulling validation from their inner circle. Why? Because we need for people to need us so we can feel like our ego is alive. If you are waiting on my ego to engage with you every day, then my ego becomes a necessity. And if it's a necessity, then it must be a reality. We pull validation from our inner circle by extending our resources that we've garnished from the ego, but we also leave everyone out that left us out, extending the same imagined feeling of rejection that we sat with. You think that those people who aren't a part of your celebration feel how you felt when you were broken, insecure, watching them celebrate and feeling really down about it, feeling really critical about it, wanting to be a part of it. They just may very well have their heart in the right place. They might have their intentions and their purpose set and their identity intact, and they may be applauding and clapping for you as you win. You don't know. So why would you imagine that they're doing something negative? Why would you imagine that they're fighting against you, that they're rooting for your demise? Could it be that you've become negatively tuned? Could it be that you don't expect the best? You actually have grown to expect the worst as you hope for the best. So if I am is one with source, I am one with I am. As I partner in reality with I am is forever partnered with source. And we all operate in union, relationship, partnership, communion, fellowship, oneness. Don't you want to join the party? You're not tired of being left out yet? You're not tired of praying and getting no answer? You're not tired of the chatter on the inside? You're not tired of the constant up and down roller coaster of what you've called life? You're not tired of it? You're not tired of concepts like make other people come to you? You're not tired of standing off silent with a hard stone face, looking like you don't want to be bothered, really wanting people to come and talk and engage with you? You're not tired of wanting to communicate things to people and carrying the weight of never saying it? You're not tired of wanting people to say things to you and engage with you in certain ways, but you never effectively communicating it, so they never know and they never do, so you're always disappointed? You're not tired of that? You're not tired of throwing people bait and then living under the weight of having to produce what they think you're capable of doing for them? You're not tired of that? You're not tired of having people come to you thinking that you can fix their problems and having to say things to other people around you as you try to keep your reputation of being able to help them intact? That I'm always helping people, but ain't nobody never helping me. Oh, yeah, it's always the ones who help other people. They can't never get nothing help. Can't never get no help. Like, shut up. That's mismanagement. This isn't how the world turns. This isn't people treating you like they treated Jesus. No. This is mismanagement. This is you striving and fighting to be relevant in irrelevant storylines. This is you clawing for status and stature inside of a social club that one day, just like everything in it, will be no longer. Again, inside of the physical presentation, Robert Greene with Law 8, making people come to you and using bait when necessary, was actually a defensive law. It actually is a way to protect you against other people's harmful or possibly detrimental actions towards you. When you cause people to act first and move first, they expose their hand, which allows you to get a backstage view of what their motive seems to be, so that you know how to counter and act against it. But again, remember, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Remember, there is a true battle going on, and if you keep getting distracted in the imaginary battle, you're going to get your ass kicked in the battle that actually matters. You're going to continue to suffer and bleed out on the spiritual battlefield, where what goes on and the attacks actually have value and weight for your experience. The things that the people do to you on the physical plane, or try to do to you on the physical plane, are all just reflections of the spiritual war that you are allowing to go unattended on the inside of you. And it's crazy because the wars on the outside that reflect the war on the inside are the very things that we say are keeping us from tending to the inside. We carry silly concepts like, well, once I get all of these things that I can see tended to, and I get all of these fires in the physical down to a manageable state, then I'll go and deal with me on the inside. But I got to get my kids together. I got to get the house together. I got to make sure the bills together. I got to make sure the job together. I got to make everything is collapsing on you because of the unattended fires on the inside. Put everything down and go tend to the fire on the inside. You won't lose everything. The only things you will lose are the things that were illusionary and harming you in the first place. You stand to gain the entire world and everything in it. You stand to begin to walk in the awareness of the dominion that was extended to you based on the inheritance of the divine origins where you come from. That's what you stand to gain. What do you stand to lose? The illusions. The wicked pictures that have driven you into caves, hiding in fear, afraid for your life, trying to survive desperately. You don't want to get rid of that? You say you do.